the Future Catalyst, and in today's video we're going to give you 6 simple steps to take back your financial future, and that is with personal finance. How do you manage your money? Not only stay up to date, but also get ahead financially. Now, the first step towards your financial freedom is you have to understand how to budget your money. Now, it's very, very cliche that people say budgeting, and I say budgeting as well. But you have to understand that without properly allocating your money, you are allowing money to slip away from your fingertips, literally. So, budgeting allows you to properly assess your income versus your expenses. How much money are you receiving versus how much money are you letting go? And what you want to do is make sure that your expenses consist of not only your needs, but also savings and investments, and also allocating for debt. Now, we'll get back to wants, but essentially with budgeting, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're increasing your income as much as possible by accumulating different skill sets that are valuable and accumulating knowledge that is valuable for not only now but for the future as well. So you can do your research on high income skill jobs or information that people would like to know for the future and position yourself in order to make more money. Now, we are in a evolutionary period and where technology is moving expeditiously fast. With that being said, now is the information era. You cannot gatekeep information. However, you can get in front of it. So, learn as much valuable information you can about a specific topic, increase your income, and decrease your expenses. Why do we do this? Well, there's something called lifestyle inflation. This is when somebody takes out a huge bunch of debt and they try to keep up with the Jones and so on and so forth. What you don't want to be doing is keeping up with the Jones and keeping up with people, because guess what? The money isn't keeping up with you. The money is actually leaking away from you through interest rates and inflation. Now, your money is devaluing 11% per year or more. This is why they said it's crucial to invest. But we'll get back to investment in a bit, and I'll explain that to you in a bit. But so the first step will be budgeting. Understand how to budget and properly budget, and you can go look at different videos across YouTube where it teaches you exactly how to budget, especially from some pros in the personal finance niche that they've been there for a while. But you want to understand how to properly budget and allocate for the future for those specific reasons that I just named. You have to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Not only that, you have to understand how credit actually works. So, good debt. Good debt essentially is debt that is almost like an asset to you. Debt that gives you return on investment. And bad debt does the opposite. So it doesn't give you return on investment. Now, how does credit actually work? Well, credit works by the bank lend you money and you promise to give them back their money, and if not, you pay them interest. Now, if you refuse to pay interest, you refuse to pay them back their money on time, and with the interest, your credit score goes down. But what's funny about credit scores is the history. If you have good credit history of paying back your balance on time and you're paying the balance in full, then you have a good credit score. You have multiple credit lines open, you show that you're a good borrower, and they'll increase your credit score, hence you can get more loans and more approved for higher rates. Now, at higher rates and lower fees, lower interest fees. Now, how do you actually manage credit? What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not spending money that you don't have. You make sure that you pay back every dollar that you spend on credit out of pocket. You want to make sure that your pocket money use credit just as you would your pocket money, and you're not spending what you don't have, because it's very easy to spend what you don't have and go in a space where you don't need to be, simply because of trying to be like the next person. That's number 2. So good debt versus bad debt, as well as how to manage credit. Make sure that your credit history is just as important as your credit score. Now, debt management. How do you manage your debt? Well, we've went over it before. Let's say, for instance, you didn't follow my steps before. You're a jackass if you did that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry my language if you're a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't mean to offend the Lord's people. But serious note, if you didn't follow it and you want to go into debt management, let's say you have debts now and you really want to pay them off. Well, it's very simple. There's two methods you can use. You can use snowball method and you can use the avalanche method. The avalanche method is just like what it sounds like. Just like an avalanche, you'd use from biggest to smallest. Look, on top of the hill is big cloud. As soon as it comes down, it dies out as it comes down. Or the snowball method, where you roll a snowball from up a mountain, down the mountain, it gets bigger as it goes down. So you can do from smallest to biggest, snowball method, or you can do from biggest to smallest, avalanche method. There's only one of two ways you can use, or you can use both ways. I don't recommend using both ways at all. I think you should just try one. But yeah, that's how you manage debt. So we've went over budgeting, good versus bad debt, credit history and credit scores, as well as debt management, savings and emergency funds. Now, you have to understand that savings is slightly different from investments for two different reasons, but I'm gonna go into savings. What you want savings for is for one of two things. One, it's for cash, to have immediate cash access to cash, or two, you want it for emergency funds. And yeah, exactly. Back to number one is immediate cash for, like, let's say you're planning for a bigger expense, or you're planning for you plan ahead for your groceries. So you just want to make sure that you have savings and you have cash, you have access to that cash. Now, investments, on the other hand, essentially is you're trying to beat the inflation, and you're trying to beat the inflation essentially. So what you need to do is find a vehicle that allows you to beat inflation at whatever percentage it is in the year. Whatever year it is, you need to find a vehicle for your investment to beat that. So higher returns essentially every year. That's essentially what investments are for. Investments are simply trying to beat the fiat currency inflation rate, because your money gets devalued every year because simply of supply and demand. The more of something, the less people want it, or the less the prices. Yeah, so essentially, because there is more money being printed, the money gets devalued, and over time, so your money getting devalued every year simply because they're printing so much money out of thin air with nothing to back it up. So yeah, so if you want to know about that, there is something called quantitative easing, Federal Reserve and all that. So that's another thing that you can do your own research on, how money is created from thin air. But that's not my job today. Today is just gonna teach you how to get back on track. So if you want to invest in something that's beating the inflation rate yearly, and make sure something that is giving you high yield returns in the safest way possible, and be cautious and do your due diligence on your research for your investment. Just a bonus here for everyone who's stuck around, because you're the real G's, and I think that's phenomenal that you take your life this serious, because everybody else is not so very smart. That's why they left. But now is a bonus tip: assets versus liabilities, and everybody understands this by the core. In life, your skills are assets. Knowledge is an asset. Knowledge that people don't have is an asset. So you want to make sure that you accumulate all different types of assets. You have hard assets, you have soft assets. You want to accumulate a lot of assets, and liabilities can be people, friends, family that hold you back, doubt you, and prevent you from becoming your best self. Essentially, what you want to do is to surround yourself with positivity and encouragement. Not only that, you want to put yourself in a space of positivity to reach for the sky and the stars and the moon and everything in between. But yeah, if you've enjoyed that video in any way, shape, or form, make sure you leave down below one thing that you'll be doing differently with your money now that I've explained to you how to get back on track financially. And just to recap the entire video, watch the video again. I ain't gonna recap it, but I hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you for watching, and that's it. And on the Future Catalyst channel or page, Make sure you tune in every week because I'll be updating you guys on something new and phenomenal every week. We're gonna go over business, tech, everything, crypto, AI, everything in between, because we're talking about the future, and the future is now. And oh man, in between. Oh my God. Mwah.